Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
We came across a company that provides innovative fire safety and suppression products. Now, this is really cool. Here's another great example of why you need to visit us at intotomorrow.com and check out the video of all of our radio interviews, because we're showing you how this works. It's really fascinating. The CEO of a company called Elide Fire USA is Faustino Bernabo. Faustino, welcome Into Tomorrow. Thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dave? Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm doing well as well. Thank you for asking. And what's cool about what you guys do is very unique. I mean, first of all, tell me about Elide Fire US as a company. Then let's get into, I don't know if you call it a bomb or what. Maybe there's a negative connotation there, but it works exceptionally well when folks come and see these videos.
Yeah, so to give you a general idea of how this came along, Elide Fire USA, my father, who's an entrepreneur, has multiple businesses, his main one being a woodworking business. He came across the product, I believe it was on YouTube or Facebook, because he was looking for some innovative way to protect his shop. Obviously, a lot of fire risk going on with all the sawdust and things of that nature in the production room. So came across the product, realized that it wasn't available to purchase in the States. So the product actually is manufactured in Thailand. It was invented in Thailand. And then, my father pretty much jumped on a plane, went over to Thailand, met the inventor, signed some documents to become the distributor for the United States, and then found out, while he was there, that the product also had no distribution in Canada or Mexico.
Wow.
So bought the rights to distribute the product in all of North America. And that was March of 2019. So here we are now, and it's been an interesting ride, to say the least.
Yes, by all means. Now, for the radio audience who has yet to have a chance to see the video at intotomorrow.com, how do you describe, to me, it looks like maybe the size of a softball, right? It's a round device that you can toss into a fire and it explodes and thereby suppresses the fire. How does it do that?
Yeah, so we offer three main models. There's a 6-inch model, and that's just the circumference of the product. And for the video audience, I'll just show it in the screen, if that's all right.
Oh, wow, cool. It looks much bigger than a softball as you're showing it to us holding it now, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the largest one that we offer. It's 6 inches around. Mm-hmm. It weighs about 3 pounds and can put out a fire that's about 20 square feet. Now, you mentioned throwing the product into an active fire. That's one way that the product can be used. But the other way that it's actually more interesting, in my opinion, is mounting it in risky areas where fires are more likely to occur. So each one comes with a mounting bracket, a pair of screws, and then you can mount it. What we recommend is, no greater than 2 feet above, anywhere where a fire is more likely to occur. And that can be a washer dryer unit, in a kitchen, in a garage, boiler room, all those areas.
Wow.
Is really where they can go.
I'm thinking perhaps or in a radio control room or studio where there's a lot of equipment that is on all the time and tends to heat up. And I'm glad you mentioned that your dad first realized this when his own shop with a lot of sawdust. Certainly vulnerable scenario there where something could happen if a spark ignites and you have nothing but sawdust. My gosh, there's kindling. Suddenly you have a major fire. This obviously will solve that problem, and I'm glad to know that it is something that can be used not only at one's business, but certainly at home. Glad that you said things like washer dryers or water heaters, or, it gets the rest of us thinking about how we can prevent a fire or suppress it should it occur. Obviously, it won't prevent a fire, but it puts it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It will it'll put out the fire. And again, kind of going into the actual way the product works, it activates when a flame touches it. So, there has to be an active fire for the product to actually activate and then disperse the dry chemical inside and extinguish that fire. And that's the real beauty of the product, that, whether you're home or not, it's going to activate when a flame touches it. So there's no false activation. It's only going to do its job when there's an active fire.
And while many businesses have, by law in most areas, I'm assuming, fire sprinkler systems, that's terrific. I don't know of any homes that have that. So, this is something that you can do as a homeowner, as a consumer, to have available. Maybe even in a rental apartment or something of that sort. You can certainly have one of these balls, an Elide Fire ball, just in a spot where you might feel a bit vulnerable, and get a little more peace of mind. Do you find that a lot of the case with your customers is that they just want to know that should something happen, we're covered?
Absolutely. What we're seeing really over the last 3 years is a split between, both businesses and end consumers that are finding that safety, that above and beyond protection, if you will, to have this product in various different places. And really the feedback we've gotten is great. And again, it's, it is able to give you that peace of mind. It's able to, let you sleep better at night. And again, you're talking about vacation rentals. If you're not there at the place, this is going to do its job even if you're not there. So we're excited on how things are going. Yeah,
because obviously you just mount the thing on a wall nearby. I mean, my gosh, we haven't even mentioned kitchens, which I'm assuming is probably the most common area for a home fire. In most cases. So if you have something like this, whether you're home or not, the idea is that it explodes and suppresses it. One of the videos I happen to see, and that we're showing now, is you've got a guy holding one of the balls, and it explodes, and it doesn't hurt him at all. He then shows his hand, and yet the fire was put out next to him.
Yeah. So, when you see the videos, the fires are pretty large. So, it's important to let people know that the product is non-toxic. It won't harm you if it goes off with a close activation like you see in some of those videos. The shell surrounding the actual product is polystyrene, so it's just your normal styrofoam. And really what it has is 4 fuses surrounding it and a small igniter at the top. So we don't like to say explosion, but activation is kind of what we go with. But again, I think, what we're seeing is more and more people from all parts of industries and walks of life sort of learn about the product and understand that at the end of the day, our main goal is to save lives. Sure. And we believe that our product can do that. And we're demonstrating that, I believe.
And I'm noticing on your website at elidefireus.com, it talks about the different kinds of fires, type A, type B, type C. So it'll cover the typical electrical fire or any other normal things, fires involving solid materials like wood, paper, or textiles, that sort of thing. So you can, again, feel more confident that it's not something about, gee, what type of fire extinguisher should I have nearby? It sounds like if you've got an Elide device that will activate, if necessary, that perhaps you're covered with the major types of fires.
Absolutely, yeah. Covers A, B, and C fires, and very similar to what a traditional fire extinguisher does. Main difference between us and them is that you don't have to be around to use our product. You don't have to pull a pin. You don't have to aim. You don't have to get close to a fire. So that's kind of where we intersect, I would say, in the fire safety and suppression world.
And you say these days your business is pretty much split evenly between businesses and homes.
Yeah. So the end consumer, your typical homeowner, vacation homeowner, and then we have, a bunch of customers that are in the marine space, for example. You hear about these, these boats and vessels that are catching fire when people are sleeping on board, and these tragedies that happen. It's very sad, but we have that industry that's very active in terms of using the product. We have the RV industry that's also taking a liking to the product where, same thing. You have these RVs that have all these different applications inside of them now. People are living on them full time. Yeah. These lithium ion batteries, which are extremely dangerous. You can go into solar panels, everything. but yeah, I mean, those are definitely end consumers that are using the product. And then, the other split is our business to business customers, where, for example, we have a renewable energy company that's mounting the product in the wind turbines. So you're talking about a wind turbine 200 feet off the ground. There's I believe it's a 6x8 room at the top there where the wind turbine is, where there's a huge transfer of electricity, and that customer in particular is mounting the product inside of that compartment.
Wow. Yeah, because we've seen videos of wind turbines way up there that are catching fire for whatever reason. And you think, well, how are they going to put that out? I can see a fire department respond. They can't reach it with ladders or even hose. But there you go. Perfectly good example. And your timing is impeccable, because right as you said, it's good for boats and vehicles and that sort of thing. Our guys in the control room are holding up a sign to me through the window. Boats, cars, question mark. And it seems like any kind of confined space, it's going to do the job. What about airplanes? You mentioned, the batteries that tend to explode. We hear about those things all the time too.
Yeah, I will say that we have had a couple airliners purchase the product. One of them being United, but they weren't using the product in the actual plane. They were using the product in a device that actually cleans the plane when they're grounded. So now, whether or not we get to a place where this product can be mounted while a plane is, traveling at 30,000 feet is another story. But it could work. That's not one of our customers just yet, but we'll see where it goes.
Well, and again, I'm not going to use the term explode. I didn't just say that. But when it activates, how soon does it activate? You mentioned that once a flame touches the ball, I guess this styrofoam surrounding area melts and then triggers these sensors that you have. So how long does that take should a fire begin?
It's roughly 3 to 5 seconds, so almost immediately. Yeah. So fairly quickly, and it'll do its job. So.
And will these balls last a while? And is it something you have to change out? Like every year you've got to recharge a fire extinguisher? How does that work?
So there's no maintenance cost. The balls last between 7 to 10 years in terms of their shelf life.
Oh.
And, we as a company warranty the products up to 5 years. So any defect, which, I can tell you right now, we've never had anybody send one back. We will replace them. No questions asked.
Good. Well, now the important part is, how much are they? You say they are available currently at elidefireusa.com, and probably other places. If they're smart, they're going to carry these devices from you. But what are we talking cost-wise, and maybe even in a typical home, how many should someone have?
Yeah, so when we're talking about retail cost, you're looking at $120 for the larger product, the 6-inch device. And then we're moving over to the 4-inch, which is $95. And then really it all depends on, in terms of how many places you'd like to mount the product in. It really depends on the layout of the home, the layout of the vehicle. I think there can be never be enough of these. In my apartment, I have one, as we're working from home a lot of the time now, by a power strip next to my computer. So just in case the surge protector doesn't work. So it really just depends on the individual. I don't think you could have too many, I would say.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it's like insurance. You hope you don't ever need it, but you sure want to have it because
Absolutely.
just in case. And this not only is insurance, but also some peace of mind. Should it happen, should a fire start, the idea is to suppress it as quickly as possible. And I think 3 to 5 seconds is pretty good that you're able to do that. And you say that it won't harm a human in terms of if somebody's nearby and a fire has started. Obviously you want to get out, but the fact is, if this does the job, it hopefully puts it out right away.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about our products. They're very safe to be used. I know that when you see some of the videos, they might be I don't know if the right word is over the top, or, you see these huge fires,
Yeah.
think that there's a lot of danger, but our products are not dangerous at all, which is really great and eco-friendly as well. So at the end of its life cycle, you can cut the product in half, use the dry chemical inside, which is monoammonium phosphate, actually, as a fertilizer. So yeah, no worries about getting the powder in your eyes during an activation. There's no issue whatsoever.
Good. So if you're a gardener, then you can use it at the end of its shelf life and replace it, but then use it in the garden. So there
Absolutely.
you go. Faust, where do you see Elide headed in the next few years as we go further into tomorrow? Are you planning other sizes or other devices or other types of things to help suppress fire in home and business?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that you just mentioned, we can kind of go into, but most importantly, I believe, is continuing to spread our message that this product is available. It's an above and beyond protection. We're not telling you to get rid of your fire extinguisher. This should be used hand in hand. And further than that, I think the deployment of the device, where now we're talking about throwing it into an active fire or mounting the product. We have spoken to some people in the drone industry where maybe we can deploy the product through drone technology and kind of go down the rabbit hole in terms of potentially using this device to eliminate forest fires. I mean, that's a big goal for us, and we're a few years out, I would say, but we're having very exciting conversations with the drone manufacturers and drone companies that think there could be some use case when it comes to eliminating forest fires.
Oh, for sure. And certainly would need a bigger one than just 6 inches, but you're on the right track there. And I can imagine forestry officials wanting to work with you to be able to do something like that as well and nip things in the bud much sooner than they're able to in many cases. So keep up the good work. And Faust, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us, especially as CEO of Elide Fire USA.com. Of course, we'll get you to his website when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. A pleasure chatting with you, and we look forward to more coming from you guys in the near future.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Again, our pleasure. Elide Fire USA.com. And of course, as always, with all of our guests, we'll get you there. Just visit us at intotomorrow.com. Check out this video for sure. We do video of all of our guests. This one is extra fascinating, if you will. You'll be able to see how this works and what Faust and his team are up to on a regular basis. I'm Dave Graveline. Into Tomorrow continues. Stay tuned right here on the Advanced Media Network.